What is happening, Magnusites? So, I was sent this article by a couple of people. This article says that waking up early is rooted in white supremacy. Now, I always thought that waking up early was rooted in the fact that, before we had electric lights, we had to rise with the sun to get things done. That rhymed on to play at the game bars. You rise with the sun and you go to sleep with the sun, and the sun goes down because you only had a limited amount of time. So get up early and get everything done. Apparently it's rooted in racism. Let's check this out, shall we? It says here, the notion of waking up early and starting your day with the rising sun is often associated with productivity, success, and a strong work ethic. However, this seemingly innocuous concept is not without its historical and cultural implications. In this article, we will explore the origins of the early rising narrative and how it is rooted in white supremacy, contributing to the perpetuation of racial inequalities. Wow, it's just okay. The waking up of the idea that waking up early leads to success in a disciplined life can be tracked back to various historical and religious contexts. In the Western world, this belief has been strongly influenced by Protestantism, and the Puritan work ethic, which emphasized hard work, diligence, and self-discipline as virtues. This work ethic has long been considered an essential component of the American dream, and the idea that success can be achieved through dedication and effort. The early rising ideology is not inherently racist. However, its connections to white supremacy can be seen when examining the broader historical and social context. During the era of European colonialism and the Atlantic slave trade, the concept of hard work and productivity became intertwined with race. Enslaved Africans were forced to work tirelessly from sunrise to sunset, and their white oppressors often used rhetoric of hard work and discipline to justify their inhumane treatment. This created a false narrative that Africans were inherently lazy and needed to be civilized, needed the civilizing influence of their white masters to teach them the value of work. This stereotype has persisted and continues to be perpetuated in various forms, such as the model minority myth, which suggests that certain racial and ethnic groups are inherently more disciplined and successful than others. Not really. It's all about your culture. You find different cultures and different colors all over the planet that are hardworking and lazy. You find both. The impact of early rising narrative on racial inequality. The idea that waking up early is a sign of a superior work ethic and a key to success serves to reinforce racial inequalities in several ways. For one, it places the blame for economic disparities on the individual rather than acknowledging the systemic barriers that hinder the success of marginalized communities. By promoting the notion that anyone can achieve success if they simply work hard and wake up early, it ignores the structural racism that has created and maintained these inequalities. Furthermore, the early rising narrative perpetuates the stereotype that people of color are lazy or lack discipline, which can have real-world consequences in areas such as employment and education. This stereotype can lead to the discrimination in the workplace and contribute to the school to prison pipeline where students of color are disproportionately disciplined and pushed out of the educational system. So I guess they're saying because white masters used this on slaves to get them to work, that it perpetuates it. Challenging the early rising ideology and its racial implications. To dismantle the white supremacist roots of the early rising narrative is essential to challenge the idea that waking up early is inherently virtuous and indicative of success. This involves recognizing that productivity and worth are not solely determined by when someone wakes up, but rather by a multitude of factors, including access to resources, opportunities, and systemic support. Educating oneself and others about the historical and social contexts that have shaped the early rising narrative can help raise awareness about its racial implications, acknowledging the cultural diversity in sleep patterns and work schedules is another important step toward dismantling these stereotypes. Creating more inclusive and equitable society involves redefining our understanding of productivity and success. This means recognizing that there are various ways to produce and that the traditional 9 to 5 work schedule may not be best fit for everyone. Well, I've heard the whole 9 to 5 thing isn't the best thing. Just, 5 days a week, 2 days off. I think some companies actually have 3 or 4 day work weeks, and I don't know if it's rooted in that. I mean, I think this is something that I'm not an historical major, but I could have swore this was something that was always done anyway. You rose with the sun to get things done. You know what I mean? You can't wake up at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. or sleep all day in and out, just now rolling around and then decide to get something done. You got to get it done. And I don't know. It makes sense to me to rise early if you want to. I mean, I always felt better getting up early, getting things out the way, and then the rest of my day is just free to do a bunch of other stuff. Whether it be relaxing or entertainment or educate myself on something, whatever it is. I don't know. This feels very loosely connected. You know what I mean? I mean, if any of y'all agree with it, tell me why you really think it does. But I don't know. Like the people that were getting up early, that were slave masters. I mean, didn't slave masters get up too? You know what I mean? Get up to handle stuff and have breakfast and do whatever chores or whatever they did around their houses. I know all that. You know what I mean? Like business and stuff like that. I know they had servants and slaves do, stuff. But, getting up and what, did they get up late? Did they get up at 11 while the slaves were up at 6? I don't know. Anyway, y'all asked me to. I'm all for early rising, getting things done, because I notice that if I wait or if I sleep in way too long and I wait to get things done, I don't want to get them done. When I get up early, I have that focus and that energy to get things done. Find people like The Rock or like Mark Wahlberg, Mark Wahlberg gets up like at 2:30 or 3 in the morning. The Rock gets up at 4:30. I think when I did that interview with Zack Snyder gets up at 4:30. But these are highly successful people who are getting things done. So I think the early rising, if it is rooted in that, well, I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, if you're saying it's rooted in racism, it's almost like I don't even know how to phrase this. If it came from a racist society, I don't think the racist society got it from racism. I don't think they got it from that. I think they got it just from life. That's how people were. Candles don't work to get things done back then. 10 million subscribers.